So disorganized thinking, and I wrote it this way because this is how the authors wrote in DSM. Is disorganized thinking is most commonly manifested through speech. Okay, and you see typically inferred through individual speech. So what does that look like? Switching from one topic to another. Um, Also called derailment or loose associations, not being able to stay on one topic. Um, Answers questions that are only semi-related or completely unrelated, also called tangential. Um, Words strung together in an incomprehensible way. Um, we used to call that word salad. Um, and must be, if you think of this as criteria here, that impairs communication. And I think part of the reason why they write that the way they do is you might look at this list here and say, well, could this be cognitive decline? Could this, be, some, representation of dementia and potentially a onset of a neurocognitive disorder, or just cognitive decline outside of neurocognitive disorder? The answer is yes, it could be. So that's why we look at the totality of the criteria. But I think it's also why they say um, that in disorganized thinking, in this context of five domains of schizophrenia, it clearly impairs communication. So, a person in a social situation with that individual is going to recognize that something's not right. Okay, and um, thinking about our cultural issues, making sure that we are not assuming disorganized speech because we don't understand that they're trying to piece together English as a second or third or fourth language, and maybe with maybe very limited exposure to English. And as I'm sure you guys know, that sometimes people who English is their second language will not say that English is their second language, and attempt to, particularly in the dynamic of a client worker relationship and a new client worker relationship, the client may attempt to, without saying to the worker, hey, English is not my first language, I kind of struggle with it, they'll just attempt um, to communicate. And so it's just something to keep in the back of your head if you're noticing disorganized um, speech, okay, or these speech phenomena, okay, or what appears to be that speech phenomena.